for making it happen. Thank you.
Everything we see, everything we hear, it shapes the world we live in. Some voices rise above the rest, not because they inspire, but because they shock us, leaving us questioning where we stand.
It's Elon Musk and a Pennsylvania woman making headlines for all the wrong reasons. A single gesture, a moment caught on camera, and suddenly, the internet is ablaze. A powerful man, a tech giant, signals something unsettling. And then, a follower, just an ordinary woman, mimics him, hoping to ride the same wave.
Sparked controversy after posting a video on TikTok that shows her giving what certainly appears to be a Nazi salute.
But while one walks away untouched, the other faces the storm. What happens when those who admire power forget that they don't share the same protection? This is the story of Elon Musk's Nazi salute, the controversy it stirred, and the tragic miscalculation of a woman who thought she could follow his lead.
Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you.
Elon Musk is a name that commands attention. Whether in boardrooms, on social media, or at global tech summits, his influence is undeniable. A billionaire, an innovator, a provocateur, he has revolutionized industries, sending rockets into space, making self-driving cars a reality, and consistently pushing the boundaries of what is possible. But alongside his technological achievements, Musk has also mastered the art of controversy. His every move, every tweet, every offhand remark ignites conversation, admiration, and outrage in equal measure. And then came the moment that set the internet ablaze. It happened in an instant. A single movement. His arm raised in what some interpreted as a Nazi salute. Was it deliberate? A joke? A careless gesture with unintended consequences? The internet erupted in debate, but one fact remained undeniable. The damage was done. Because Musk, with his immense wealth and influence, can afford to be reckless, he can weather the storm, shielded by his power. Others are not so fortunate. Far from the electric buzz of Silicon Valley, in the quiet corners of Pennsylvania, a woman named Laura Smith watched the controversy unfold. She wasn't a billionaire. She didn't have a team of lawyers, a vast network of allies, or the ability to command the media's attention at will. She was an ordinary person with a phone, an opinion, and a belief, misguided or not, that she was part of something bigger. Maybe she saw Musk's actions as a statement. Maybe she thought mimicking his gesture would be seen as bold or defiant. So she recorded a video, raising her own arm in imitation of the man she admired, and then she posted it online. The response was immediate and brutal. The internet does not forgive. Within hours, Laura's video had gone viral, but not in the way she had perhaps imagined. Outrage swept across social media like wildfire. People demanded action, accountability, retribution. But unlike Musk, Laura had no safety net, no PR team to spin the narrative, no fortress of wealth to insulate her from the consequences. She was just an individual, exposed, vulnerable, and entirely at the mercy of public opinion. The fallout was swift and merciless. Her past was dissected, her affiliations scrutinized, every role she had ever held examined under a microscope. The consequences came crashing down like an avalanche. She was forced to resign from her position on a library board, her involvement in a non-profit organization abruptly severed. The life she had known, her reputation, her standing in the community, was erased in an instant. A few seconds of video had rewritten her entire story. And yet, Elon Musk? Unscathed. A man who has built an empire on controversy, who thrives in the chaos he creates, moved on effortlessly. He dismissed the uproar, brushing aside the accusations, telling his followers to forget about it. "Let's move forward," he said. And with those words, he did. The controversy faded from the headlines, drowned out by the next wave of news, the next shocking statement, the next grand technological promise. For Musk, it was just another storm weathered. For Laura Smith, there was no moving forward, only regret, only loss. It's an old and familiar story. The powerful protect themselves. The rich and famous operate under different rules, shielded from the consequences of their actions. They test the limits, push boundaries, and when the backlash comes, they simply step aside and wait for it to pass. But those who follow them, who believe they are part of something greater, who think they are aligning themselves with history, these are the ones left to suffer the consequences. Yet beneath the headlines and the outrage, there is something even more unsettling at play. This wasn't just about a single gesture, it was about what it represented. The deeper meaning, the silent approvals, the unspoken encouragements, the way influence ripples outward, shaping perceptions and actions in ways that are often invisible until it is too late. Symbols have power. They do not simply disappear because someone insists they don't matter. When a person of immense influence plays with these symbols, whether knowingly or not, they send messages to those who are listening. And some, watching closely, take those signals as a call to action. That is where the real danger lies. Not in the single act itself, but in what comes after. In the people who see, who absorb, who believe, who take that moment and transform it into something larger, something more insidious. Musk's gesture, whether intentional or not, became part of a larger conversation.
Okay, that is maybe a 10%, there's probably a 10% chance that I'm right, but it's a possibility that he just didn't know that that was what he was invoking.
A broader cultural battle where symbols of hate and oppression are being re-examined, reclaimed, or denied altogether. And in this battle, the weight of those symbols does not simply disappear when the person who wields them decides to move on. But not everyone is willing to let it go. As the digital storm raged, a new act of defiance emerged. Thousands of miles away, in Germany, a Tesla factory became an unexpected stage for a bold message. Activists projected a video across its massive walls. Undeniable, unmissable. We are not moving on, it declared. The past, the truth, the consequences, these things cannot be erased, no matter how powerful the person trying to rewrite the narrative may be. The projection stood as a stark reminder that words and actions do not exist in a vacuum. That history does not simply vanish because someone chooses to ignore it. And yet, Musk will continue as he always has. He will tweet, he will provoke, he will push the boundaries, knowing he can always retreat if necessary. His influence will endure, undiminished. His empire will remain intact. He will move on to the next innovation, the next controversy, the next spectacle that captures the world's attention. Because for him, the stakes are never truly high. He plays with controversy as though it is a game, knowing he will never truly lose. But for the Laura Smiths of the world, there is no playing. There is only reality, a fleeting moment of imitation, a brief attempt to belong, and suddenly, everything is gone. Their lives upended, their reputations shattered, their futures altered in ways they never anticipated. This is not just the story of one woman's downfall. It is the story of power and consequence, of influence and responsibility. It is about the way movements are shaped, the way narratives are controlled, the way some people can escape the repercussions of their actions while others are left to bear the full weight of them. So remember this story, not just for what happened, but for what it reveals. Look at the patterns, at the ways influence spreads, at the ways some individuals are untouchable while others are utterly disposable. And ask yourself, in a world where power is so unevenly distributed, where the rules apply differently depending on who you are, who really holds control? And who is left to suffer the consequences when that power is wielded carelessly? Because in the end, the difference between those who play with fire and those who get burned is simply a matter of privilege. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, stay questioning, and most of all, stay human.